change or behavioral change. And in fact, what it does turn out to be linked to statistically, myriad studies show this, is an increase in child violence, so conduct disorder, acting up, not just in school, on the playground, but at home, in your home environment. Why do you suppose parenting predicts these types of things?
I think it's like the whole cognitive dissonance thing. So absolutely. Also, like spanking is violent. It's a violent act. So if you're spanking a child, that's kind of feeling it's okay to do that if someone does something wrong. Then they go to school and
Sure. So it sends a message to that child about what behaviors are appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sometimes harsh punishments, because she's saying cognitive dissonance aren't as like long-term effective, because then the child usually stops the behavior because of the punishment, not because they should change the values, but because that was like actually wrong.
Sure. So the value change isn't happening. They're stopping that bad behavior in the moment to avoid punishment, not because of their values. Yeah.
I think it makes still sense of revenge. Like if you do something like mire somebody, you'll more than likely kind of like brush off, like, oh, they just totally ignore me, and then we'll ignore them later. No, like if they hit you, you're gonna want to get it back.
Possibly, and possibly that's especially likely if that's what's been happening to you in the home environment. What sorts of social psychological theories support this in terms of where we learn behavior? Do you want to remember what famous psychologist or experiment that suggests that this type of behavior might contribute to increased violence rather than better behavior? Absolutely. The classic Albert Bandura's Ovidal experiment. Observational learning or social modeling suggests that harsh punishment tends to be imitated. It doesn't tend to lead to long-term pro-social behavioral change, right? Instead, we know that swift but moderate punishment is a lot more effective. Why do you suppose that's the case? Why does it have to be swift but also moderate?
because like taking nip it in the butt pretty much, you know, like if you give them some time, they might start to they're not getting on you right away. And then that's
Right, so moderate, we certainly understand. In terms of swift, think back to intro to psych, or if you have a learning psychology class. Surely you've been exposed to classical conditioning or operant conditioning being most relevant here. What's going to happen if that punishment doesn't immediately follow the bad behavior? Absolutely. The whole goal is to form these associations between what I did and the consequences of my behavior. That's what operant conditioning is all about, right? So what I do has consequences, and I have to learn about those consequences and associate those consequences with my own behavior. It's not going to be as effective. We know from operant conditioning related research, if we don't pair those consequences with your behavior immediately, right? So we know this is true for children. What about for adults? Turns out we know for adults that punishment tends to be more of a deterrent, also when it's prompt. So this supports operant conditioning as well. Certain, we know exactly what's going to happen, and with little chance of escape. So let's break this down and maybe apply this to some real world forms of adult punishment. For instance, are these conditions likely in the real world of criminal behavior? Let's apply it to, for instance, the death penalty. Do you suppose the death penalty, which is a form of punishment that we use in the United States, in some cases, in some states, is the death penalty likely to be a deterrent? Does it meet these criteria?
I would say no, because sometimes you have one person instead of it, and then also you have appeals, and it's off and off.
So it's not meeting a couple criteria here, right? For instance, it's not prompt. We have appeals in the United States. You get convicted for a crime, and it's not automatically going to be the case that you get the death penalty. You could have an appeal process that you go through. Even if you get sentenced to death, you could have an you go to jail or not, right? And it might come to different decisions, so it's not certain, right? And it turns out there's very little research that shows, in fact, no research that shows that the death penalty is a deterrent for crime. Turns out lots of course, we can't do true experiments, but at least studies in which we explore or compare the death or murder rates before and after the death penalty was instituted, or whether or not death penalty is used in states, we don't really find those differences.
I would think like most crimes are illegal and they're not planned out. So at the moment you're not thinking, am I gonna get the death penalty? So if you're angry about something, you're not thinking.
Now, arguably, if we did look at a different country where the consequences of the crime were swift, were serious, arguably we probably would have lower crime. So if we didn't really have a trial, if you got caught stealing, we chop off your hand, right? Or we immediately execute you for dealing drugs. Arguably, we would have lower crime, right? That said, for whatever reason, the United States doesn't appreciate that model of criminal justice. We consider things, for instance, like the death penalty to be fairly serious, and we require things like appeal processes and lots of constraints associated with that type of decision. Does this make sense? I do have another example that supports these empirical statements. For instance, domestic abuse. It turned out prior to around 1984, it was fairly difficult to get an arrest when there was a domestic violence type of situation. It turned out to be the case that it was sort of a he said, she said type of situation for the most part, and they couldn't legally arrest a person who was alleged to have committed domestic violence, so abused a partner, for instance, unless there was another witness besides the victim. So you can sort of imagine how rare that could be. Typically, it's just domestic violence occurs when it's just spouse and spouse together, right? So it's very rare for a third person, another party, to have witnessed this and to say. Well, around 1984, they sort of tried this real-world experiment whereby they no longer needed that witness. If it was the case that domestic violence was called in, they showed up, police thought it happened, immediately arrested the spouse who was the alleged perpetrator and brought him to the jail. And it turned out this immediate arrest that was prompt, became fairly certain was going to happen, actually did have a significant influence on domestic violence. So it actually did reduce domestic violence rates after they had started implementing this type of analysis. Although we will say we did find that it was qualified by certain factors. So for instance, if the partner was unemployed, it turned out to have less of an impact on that partner, probably because they're just always around and they're more entertaining in general. So it probably did have less impact on those types of reasons. Does this make sense? Any other questions about these factors that predict or diminished aggression, I guess? Has anyone heard of this notion called catharsis? Anyone want to describe generally what catharsis is or who gave it to us? How is a catharsis supposed to be related to aggression? Sure. And Freud, of course, really loved to look at those types of classic approaches to understanding the human psyche and developed the approach. So what is catharsis in the context of aggression? It's simply that. It's the notion that behaving or fantasizing aggressively, so maybe fantasizing through plays or novels, behaving or fantasizing aggressively should relieve that built-up aggression that you've got. And it should reduce the likelihood of future aggression. So that's the question. This is this Freudian notion that if I'm feeling a lot of aggression, I want to relieve that aggression. I want to let that flow out of my body. Well, in order to do that, I need to let it out. I need to you is, do you suppose this is effective? Why, and if so, why or why not?
I'd say yes, because you're getting all that energy out, and then also you're always like right at the moment you're super angry, but if you just wait a few hours, you're like, oh, that's fine.
So that's a little bit different, right? If I wait a few hours and allow myself to calm down, then maybe I will behave less aggressively in the future.
I said no, because it kind of like gives you practice, it's kind of like an analog to actually.
So possibly the opposite might be true, that if I behave super aggressively, maybe trying myself to behave aggressively might even increase my aggressive behavior.
I say no unless you act aggressively at what you're frustrated at. So if I'm frustrated, like with a friend, and I go punch a punching bag, that doesn't relieve my frustration with my friend. Unless it's like directed at the source that what made you feel aggressive in the first place, I don't think.
So that's another good question. Does the target of my aggressive fantasy make a difference? Yeah.
Yes, I think it depends. Like, I'm really frustrated about like the go for a run, but if say someone's really angry at someone, they keep criticizing them, maybe they're more likely to do that. I really think it depends on the amount of exercise. I feel like usually
That could be a form of a distraction that might not have a negative effect, but if it's, I'm fantasizing about killing you, that's probably
like a shooting.
maybe not so good. Did I see it?
I think that like just depends on the person's situation. Like if I'm frustrated with someone, if I go talk to another friend about it, who's also frustrated with that person, then we both know instead of echoing out at that person, it really doesn't need to. And sometimes it's easier to talk about it with someone else and be like, okay, well, we're frustrated too. And then we just kind of bounce off each other and then we're gone.
So how it is dealt with, I matter, maybe talking instead of behaving aggressively might help possibly. I mean, these are all real overhead.
Which is one weird thing about today's list, I suggest a separate regression, that we have a certain level of regression that we have to be, which kind of makes sense that it could be, if that's the case, it could be well this way, because a lot of times, sitting around, like, say, if you're listening to music, then you're just thinking about music, line up, so if you're acting aggressive, you just don't think about being aggressive, it's the same, it's not like a sort of satisfies them.
Possibly satisfies them. I mean, this is an empirical question. Of course, Freudian theory was always fun, but never really scientifically tested because we didn't necessarily know as much about research methods back then, back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, as we know about research methods now. Of course, what's cool is that we've got a method to test these types of things in our current society, right? We've developed far enough. We apply the scientific method to psychology. And one cool study conducted by Bushman, I believe. Is it Bushman? Yes. They tested this notion that, is it true, that catharsis actually does produce aggression? So what they did was they recruited a sample of college participants, and they told those college participants that they're going to read and evaluate an essay that a fellow student has written about abortion. And it was this student's attitudes toward abortion was that what that essay was. So it was either a pro-life essay or a pro-choice essay. Is this making sense? Okay. So what really happened is they had already pre-assessed all participants' attitudes toward abortion in a max testing session way before, at the beginning of the semester, before they even recruited them. So they actually already knew whether or not these participants were pro or against abortion. Is this making sense? Okay. So if they were pro-abortion, what happened was they were presented with an essay that was against abortion. Is this making sense? If they were against abortion, they were presented with a student's essay that was for abortion. You got me so far? Okay. So that's part of the stimuli. In addition, they were asked to write an essay about abortion, pro-life or not. Is this making sense? Their essay was then presented, ostensibly presented to the other participant, who then edited it and gave it back to them. So now, this, of course, didn't really happen. Instead, the researchers gave all participants the exact same revisions or exact same feedback on their essay, which was always very, very negative and just quite frankly mean. So things like, this is the worst essay I've ever read in my life, the grammar was awful, I can't believe you write so poorly, so those types of really sort of harsh types of statements. So essentially they've caused this person to feel angry, right? Feel angry toward his fellow participant. Is this making sense? Okay, so they've implemented anger, or they've manipulated anger. The independent variable, which we haven't even gotten to yet, is this. So the independent variable was, in one group, there's the control group. So they're just asked to hang tight for a little bit before we complete a couple extra questionnaires. So they sit there for approximately 10 minutes, doing nothing. Control condition. In a different condition, they were asked to engage in a distraction-related activity. So in the distraction condition, they were asked to punch this punching bag while thinking about being physically fit, right? So maybe going for a jog, for instance. So punch a punching bag, but while thinking about being physically fit. In the third condition, it was supposed to be the catharsis condition. So here, they told them, here's a photograph of that person that gave you that feedback on your essay. We're going to tape it to this punching bag. And what we would like you to do is stare at that person's photo, pretend you're punching them, and punch the punching bag. Is this making sense? So that's supposed to be the catharsis condition, so fantasizing about relieving your anger by behaving aggressively. Does this make sense? Okay, so what were the results? What's the answer? It turns out that for participants' self-reported feelings of anger, they were actually the highest in the catharsis condition. So they're experiencing significantly more anger in the catharsis condition than in the distraction condition, which was only slightly higher than the control condition. Turns out this wasn't statistically significant, but this was. Possibly. So possibly they could still be ruminating, right? Surprising to you that this might not be low. I mean, we can at least know that this isn't a statistically significant difference here, but maybe surprising that it's not lower, that we're not actually distracting them.
Well, I was going to comment that when you're sitting at 10 minutes, you're going to start thinking about more stuff. I feel like a lot of people, I know a lot are going to hear, you're going to have bigger picture about kind of think about other things, so you're going to forget about it.
So maybe they aren't just ruminating solely on the event, maybe they start daydreaming about things they've got to do.
I think it'd be hard just to sit there and constantly think for 10 minutes about however you
Possibly.
are going to focus on.
Right. Brain starts to wonder.
It's kind of like my daughter where you give it time to people now on their own. I think that's just like you said, you're not gonna sit there for 10 minutes just to. So probably they didn't fix that there and they just like, okay, this is.
Obviously, this person was biased, it doesn't really reflect on me. So maybe start to rationalize that person's behavior.
Two things for the control group, like, if it's really something important to you, like, you could sit there and speak for 10 minutes. But with this experiment, it's not that important for them, so I don't think they're gonna sit there and think about it. And then for the catharsis, like, if I'm angry and I like do something and we sit there and I'm not thinking about what I'm angry
behavioral measure, what they did was they allowed this participant to play a game with that fellow participant. So this game is, I know you guys are probably so familiar with this methodology. It was essentially the blacks the noise type of situation. If that participant loses a trial, they get to choose the intensity and duration of the noise blacks that they allocate. You'll find in a lot of studies that once experimenters develop a method that works, they start to use it and reuse it and use it again, because why reinvent the wheel if it works? Arguably, we should be reinventing the wheel. We should be testing it in different ways, but this is safe. I tried to test self-handicapping in a novel way to try to avoid, this reinventing the wheel problem or just doing the same thing over and over again. Of course, it failed miserably. So maybe there's a reason they continue to do this. But as you can see, that same pattern of results emerged for actual behavioral measures of aggression. This is fairly compelling. People in that catharsis condition were significantly more actually aggressive than the distraction versus manipulation.
Wouldn't that cause a problem though, if we use the same word over and over again, like people are gonna heard about it and
Possibly, yeah.
right, but yeah.
Right. I mean, that's a good question. To what extent, honestly, that's why you guys aren't allowed to participate in studies, because you will have heard all of these methodologies before. I would never allow you in any one of my experiments. But intro to psych students probably, you don't get to social psychology until the last chapter at the end of that class. And even so, are you going to review in detail the types of studies that we review in this class? Absolutely not. So, yeah, it's typically the case that students in intro to psych are not familiar with this type of methodology. But you're right, if they're a psych major and they continue on, you probably should watch out, right? That's a good point. Any other questions, though, about this type of study? I mean, what do you suppose are the implications for getting into a heated argument with a friend or with this partner? What should we do, possibly, to calm our anger, to mitigate our anger? Ice cream? Possibly, right? It induces happiness. Yeah. Possibly, yeah. Maybe say, hey, I know we want to keep at it, but maybe we need to take a break for a minute and just not talk, right? Step away from each other.
So much time and I feel we're on our sororities and then we're on a softball team and I got something about the game that was happening. When they come back.
That's a good strategy, yeah.
Like you take a second to pull out, you also have to kind of think rationally about the versus why you're actually hearing that person. And then calmly like afterwards go, okay, this is how it's going.
Oh.
But actually I was doing, sorry.
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead. Yeah, Nicole? Maybe we need to take a break and reflect on. Absolutely. These I think are good suggestions. For instance, I remember a colleague when I was in graduate school. Her policy after she gave students their revisions on their paper. So sometimes their paper did really well, sometimes not so well. So they got really critical feedback. She said, "I'll talk to you if you have questions about your paper, but not until tomorrow. I will not talk to you about your paper until the next day, because what's going to happen, that anger is going to not allow them to think critically or to really reflect on their paper, but instead it's just going to you know, or even apologize if we're in the wrong. Try to do that, and try to learn to express yourself in non-aggressive ways, because as we've just reviewed, expressing ourselves in aggressive ways doesn't appear to actually reduce aggression. Instead, it just sort of fans the flames. It's sort of like adding the gasoline to put out fire. Not going to work necessarily. Going to just make it worse. Okay. So, I also want to review an additional phenomenon that turns out to reduce aggression. This is actually something that is effective as opposed to catharsis. It turns out that teaching empathy actually does have a host of really positive effects. Not only does it lower aggression in children, but it also results in these kids having higher self-esteem, higher generosity, but fascinatingly higher academic ability. It literally raises these kids' performance on tests of standard IQ. It also raises their performance in the classroom in terms of grades. So what Norman Fisher did was develop this 30 hours, this is almost a week-long type of session or seminar to train students to have the ability to engage in empathy, to empathize with someone else. So what does that mean? It's simply encouraging students, kids, to have this perspective-taking ability. Try to imagine what that other person is feeling like. Try to see the situation through their eyes. Try to experience what it's like to be in their shoes. Right? Why does learning how to have empathy, which turns out we can train people to engage in empathy, why does it have these effects? Why would it, for instance, lower aggression or result in higher academic ability?
I don't know about the academic, that's kind of, but lower aggression, because you're like, oh, well, I can understand what they did, and I can understand that.
Sure.
Maybe this is all like lower stress because we're not worried about like people not understanding them because they're empathizing with each other. That gives them higher self-esteem, which will help them learn more able on their assignments, which makes them better. And that's all kind of intertwined.
So one sort of connects another, so it's a cyclical type of phenomenon. See, I'm not sure whose hand was up first. I think it's
As for the higher academic ability, I think there are probably a couple things that contribute to it. The higher self-esteem, I think that really does, because, I mean, they're going to feel better about themselves if they're able to interact with other people and be less aggressive, and they're going to see that in themselves, and it will raise their self-esteem, which will help them to do better in a lot of things. And also, I think teaching them to empathize requires them to go a step further in their cognition, so they're required to use more brain power, and I think it just is kind of practicing thinking in general, and I think that might actually be good.
sure they're practicing a specific type of thinking that they didn't necessarily practice before. See, Mallory, I think I saw your hand.
I think, like, to be empathetic, you have to be more unbiased than normal. So maybe, like, with academic ability, kids are looking at problems or whatever they're doing in a more open-minded way. So it's harder to relate to problems.
Sure. To think critically. Let's see. Did I see your hand? No. Oh, sure. Did you have something similar you can add?
But for the academic ability, I mean, is empathy, you're getting inside their head, you're imagining how they feel. So if you can imagine how a professor is thinking, or how they're going to grade your paper, how they're going to get this shit now, because you're kind of thinking, okay, you're going to do this way, and I mean,
Sure. Let me put myself in the shoes of my professor or my teacher. They're probably going to want me to have proofread this paper, right? So maybe I should proofread my paper, right? Absolutely. Or even just think about the types of things we learn in class. For instance, literature. To really critically analyze literature, or to learn about history, to learn about social psychology, it really requires us to take the perspective of that character that we're reading about, right? To really put ourselves in their shoes and understand where they're coming from. Or to put ourselves in the shoes of the author, to understand what this could symbolize. It probably does make us just better critical thinkers in terms of understanding various forms really like to see a follow-up study explore is to what extent does this have an effect on kids' fundamental attribution error? Does it mitigate it, for instance? Does it reduce that likelihood to make that nearly automatic attribution all the time? Which would be really interesting. But sort of suggests that it probably does. Any other questions or thoughts you guys have about this research? Okay. Something to think about if you've got kids. Writing them an empathy perspective, perspective taking. Okay, so far we've talked a great deal about aggression as a predictor of violence. I'd sort of like to switch gears and raise a question to you. Do you think, for instance, that pornography might increase violence, particularly against women? And I ask this because this is an applied question that's been fairly controversial. There's sort of a group of individuals who fervently believe that pornography will increase violence against women, that it gives individuals sort of this, the toolkit, the know-how or a guidebook to violence against women. That's a good question. I am not sure, but that's possible. So we could, for instance, measure actual rape rates and the extent to which pornography has been available.
I don't think that, I see this, but like, it's kind of common knowledge that most men watch pornography, not all men, right? So,
Right. So men who watch pornography don't necessarily, they're not necessarily all rapists.
Yeah.
Also, probably consider the pornography was like a very violent, baby.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the question, is to what extent is that porn, non-violent porn versus violent porn? Let's see, I'm not sure whose hand was up first. I think I saw yours first.
Okay, I think that might go on for the video game people too. Like if you're a violent or a person who likes aggression, you're not gonna watch those violent pornography. If you don't, so that's your
So does correlation equal causation?